The moment he yelled, "Hands where I can see them," I knew exactly how this was going to go. Not because I'd done anything wrong, not because I was scared, but because I've lived this scene before. Different street, different face, same tone. That look people get when they think they already know who you are. Hoodie, tired eyes sitting alone. Case closed in their head. Yeah, that happened. It was late morning gray sky, one of those days where the city feels heavier than usual. I was sitting in a small roadside cafe just off Harbor Avenue, the kind of place truck drivers stop at, and nobody asks questions. Greasy menu, burnt toast, smell rain, tapping the windows like it was impatient. I'd been there almost half an hour, coffee long gone cold, pretending to scroll on my phone while I waited. To anyone else, I was just killing time. In reality, I was in the middle of something that had taken years to build, and one bad interaction could torch the whole thing. I wasn't supposed to stand out. That was the point. Faded jacket, cheap sneakers posture, slouched just enough to look uncertain. Underneath that jacket was a wire taped tight to my chest mic, tested twice before I walked in. In my ear, a calm voice fed me updates. The guy we were after, a trafficker named Marco Valles, was supposed to arrive any minute. Mid-level operator, paranoid violent, but crucial. If he offered what we needed on tape, the dominoes would finally start falling. And then the door swung open. 2 cops walked in, shaking off the rain. One of them filled the doorway like he owned it. Big guy, flushed face, that slow swagger that says he enjoys being watched. His partner was younger, quieter eyes scanning the room like she already wanted to be somewhere else. The big one, Officer Ryan Caldwell, clocked the whole cafe in about 3 seconds. When his eyes landed on me, they stopped. You ever feel that shift in the air like the room tilts just a little? I felt it then. I told myself not to engage. Valles was close. If I moved now, he'd vanish. But Caldwell didn't head for the counter. He came straight toward my table boots, heavy against the tile like punctuation marks counting down. "What are you doing here?" he asked, loud enough for everyone to hear. I looked up, slow neutral. Having coffee, waiting on someone. He glanced at the empty cup, smirked. "Uh-huh. You got ID," and there it was. No reason, no cause, just vibes and assumptions. I felt my jaw tighten, but I kept my voice even. "I haven't done anything wrong." He leaned closer. "I'll decide that." Under the table, my bag sat untouched. Inside, it wasn't anything illegal, but it might as well have been radioactive if this went sideways. I murmured a few words under my breath, letting the mic pick it up, telling the team what was happening. Abort was an option. Walking out clean was safer, but Valles was close. Too close. Caldwell nudged the bag with his boot. "What's that?" "Personal stuff," I said. "Open it." I didn't move. That was enough for him. He straightened up, voice sharp now, eyes hard. "Stand up, now." That's when I saw it. Through the window, a black sedan slowed, driver glancing inside. Valles. He saw Caldwell towering over me, saw the badge, saw the tension. The car didn't stop. It rolled past the cafe and disappeared into traffic. Just like that years of work were gone. Something inside me shifted. Not panic, anger, controlled cold. I stood up slowly, hands visible. "Officer, I said you need to step back." He laughed. Actually laughed. Or what? I met his eyes. "You're interfering with a federal operation." The cafe went quiet. His partner froze. Caldwell blinked, then laughed harder. "Sure you are. And I'm the president." I told him my name. Told him who I was. Told him my credentials were on me. For half a second, doubt flickered across his face. Then, ego slammed the door shut. He grabbed my arm, twisted it hard behind my back, snapped the cuffs on like he was proving a point. Pain shot up my shoulder. I didn't fight. I wanted him confident. I wanted everything recorded. Outside, rain soaked through my jacket as he shoved me against the cruiser. "You talk too much," he muttered. "No," I said quietly. "You don't listen." The ride to the station was tense. His partner kept glancing back at me, chewing her lip. Caldwell talked about paperwork, about how easy this was going to be. Asset seizure, disorderly conduct. He sounded proud. At booking, he dumped my bag on the counter and unzipped it. The contents shut the room up fast. He told everyone it was evidence. I told him it was government property. He leaned in, close breath, sour, told me I was done. "Check my pocket," I said. He pulled out the wallet, opened it. The color drained from his face. Badge. Credentials. Real ones. He tried to play it off. Fake. Had to be fake. I told him to run the numbers. He refused. Ordered me into holding. The desk sergeant hesitated. Then the phone rang. Not the regular line, the special one. I watched the sergeant's face change as he listened. Watched him look at me like he'd just realized he was standing next to a live wire. He handed the phone to Caldwell. Caldwell didn't take it. Hung it up instead. That was when I checked the time. 7 minutes since the cuffs went on. "Look outside," I said. When he did, his world collapsed. Unmarked vehicles blocking the street. Agents moving fast, coordinated, calm. The doors burst open and authority flooded the room. Real authority. Not borrowed from a badge and an attitude. The cuffs came off. Caldwell stood there suddenly very small, still trying to posture. The agent in charge gave him a choice. He made the smart one too late. In the interrogation room, the truth came out piece by piece. Bank transfers, shell companies, calls logged, patterns that told a story Caldwell couldn't talk his way out of. He wasn't just reckless, he was compromised. But here's the twist. The guy we were after, Velez, had known something was off. He let Caldwell burn to confirm his suspicions. Used him like a disposable lighter. By the time we realized it, Velez was already moving. Fear has a way of changing people. Caldwell cracked once he understood he was alone. Gave us a location, a private dock, a window. We caught Velez that night trying to leave town with enough cash to buy a small island. When I put the cuffs on him, he smiled and told me it was just business. I told him it was about choices. Months later, I watched Caldwell stand in a courtroom stripped of everything he thought made him powerful. Years added up in a sentence that finally matched the damage he'd done. No cheers, no satisfaction. Just quiet. Because the real victory wasn't the arrest. It was the reminder that assumptions can destroy lives, that power without humility rots fast, and that the people you underestimate are often the ones watching closest. So here's my question for you. Was justice served or just delayed? And how many times have you seen someone judged, cornered, or crushed because of how they looked instead of who they were? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Argue it out. Tell your story. Because conversations like this are where change actually starts.